the history is set to repeat itself again. The judicial trenches are certainly not unfamiliar terrain for Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 25 February general election. About 20 years ago, Mr. Obi contested the 19 April 2003 governorship election in Anambra State on the crest of newly registered All Progressives Grand Alliance (ABGA) after Chris Ngige of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) was declared winner in the race by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC). Mr. Obi rejected the results and went to court for redress, where he recorded a historic success. That's why they are afraid. I think all these politicians don't know. They say go to court, and meanwhile they are going back again to go and beg him because they know that history will repeat itself. On Monday, 13th March, Mr. Obi stated that he would not accept the results of this year's presidential race as declared by INEC because, according to him, it is not God's wish for the country. He expressed his readiness to challenge the process by which the electoral umpire arrived at their declaration of the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola TINUBU, as the winner. Mr. Obi made the statement during an interview on Arise News TV. He had earlier a week addressed a press conference claiming that he actually won the election and was prepared to prove his claims in court. The Electoral Commission (INEC) had in the early hours of March 1st, 2023 declared Mr. TINUBU as the winner of the election. Mr. TINUBU defeated 17 other candidates who took part in the election according to INEC. Okay? And he won with 8 million. He also scored over 25% of the votes cast in 29 seats, more than the 24 seats constitutionally required. INEC chairman Mahmood Yakubu, a professor of history who announced the final results in Abuja, said Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi got 6 million respectively of votes. But both Atiku and Obi have since rejected the results as announced by INEC in each of them as each of them has claimed to win the election and vowing to challenge the exercise in court. For Mr. Obi, he appears attuned to the intricate contours of the judicial process. He is a beneficiary of the judicial process in Nigeria's electoral history. After 2 years and 11 months of judicial fireworks, the tenure of Mr. Ngige as Anambra State governor ended on a dramatic note on the 15th of March 2003 when, by a unanimous ruling, a 5-member panel of the Court of Appeal overturned the victory and affirmed Mr. Obi as the winner of the April 2003 gubernatorial election in the state. In its ruling, the appeal court upheld the decision of the lower tribunal that Mr. Obi ought to have been declared the winner and sworn in as the validly elected governor of Anambra State on the 29th of May 2003. The verdict was the product of Mr. Obi's pursuit of his mandate through the judicial process, notwithstanding daunting odds. Mr. Obi's swearing in as governor on 17th of March 2006 made Anambra the first state to alter the governorship transition calendar in the country, as he became the first candidate to unseat a sitting governor through the judicial process. However, less than 8 months after he was sworn in as governor, Mr. Obi was impeached and removed from office by the State House of Assembly on 2nd November 2006. His deputy, Virginia Etiaba, was sworn in as the substantive governor in his stead in the next 3 days, 3rd November 2006, making her the first ever female state governor in Nigeria. For the second time, Mr. Obi approached the court. Then it was to challenge his impeachment. He argued that he committed no wrongs to warrant his removal. While in court, striving to reclaim his mandate, processes for the 2007 governorship were in top gear. He triumphed at the Enugu division of the Court of Appeal and was reinstated as governor on the 9th of February 2007. Mrs. Etiba handed the reins of power in the states back to him and reverted to her previous position as the deputy governor. Mr. B was advised to collect and file a nomination form as his party's ABGA candidate for the fast approaching governorship election, but he refused, insisting that he still had 3 years left in his tenure as governor, having just spent barely a year in office after the sack of Mr. Ngige by the Appeal Court. His stance stirred controversies both in Anambra State and nationwide, then with some commentators berating him for overstretching his luck, while others urged him not to shy away from contesting an election that he was elected to win on merit. But Obi stuck to his gun by steering away from the 2007 governorship polls despite the entreaties for him to contest. In line with widespread expectation, Mr. Obi lost the governorship seat for the third time when he had to leave office on 29th of May 2007 following the governorship election of 14th of April 2007, which he stayed away from on the premise that it was illegal in the state. The candidate of the PDP, Andy Uba, was declared the winner by INEC and subsequently inaugurated as governor on 29th May 2007. Mr. Obi pressed on with his subsisting case in court, not minding the impending governorship election. His major contention was that the 4-year tenure he was entitled to as a result of his resulted victory in the 19th April 2003 general election only started to run when he took office on 17th of March 2006. On 14th of June 2007, the Supreme Court, in a landmark verdict, upheld Mr. Obi's contention by sacking Mr. Uba and reinstating Mr. Obi to office as the governor. The judgment brought the tenure of Mr. Obi to a dramatic end and paved the way for Mr. Obi to complete his 4-year tenure on 17th of March 2010. Mr. Obi contested again and was re-elected. He served out his second tenure without hindrance on 17th March 2014 when he handed over to his successor, Willie Obiano. Mr. Obi's judicial battle not only made Anambra the first state in Nigeria to have an off-session governorship election, but also opened the floodgates for others like Kogi, Osun, Ekiti, Bayelsa, Edo, Ondo, and Imo to follow in the same trajectory, retreating his respect for traditional rulers and religious leaders. During his interview with Arise on Monday, the former Anambra governor disagreed with the narrative that the outcome of the recent poll as pronounced by INEC was the wish of God for Nigeria. He said, "I'm very respectful to them, traditional rulers and religious leaders, and I think that they should be respected for what they represent to the society. But I disagree with them. What they are actually preaching is the problem of Nigeria. The problem of Nigeria is accepting wrongdoing and accepting what is unacceptable. That is using God's name in vain. That is not what God is saying. God said, 'Do not use my name in vain.' So what they are saying is not God's wish. It is not God's plan for Nigeria. That is not what God will say. God's will is that when you do the right thing, then in the end it is well." He said Nigeria has laws guiding the conduct of elections and it is not the wish of God that it should be violated. We have clear laws about the conduct of election. It is not God's wish that we do the wrong thing. We want God's wish to be truly God's wish. Is it God's wish that we steal or conduct the wrong election? He asked. Despite being previously viewed by pundits as a structureless underdog in the race, Mr. Obi put over 6 million votes in the presidential election. He also won in 12 states, including Abuja, the same number as the president-elect Mr. TINUBU and Atiku. In his interview on Arise TV, Mr. Obi sought the cooperation of INEC for his election petition. INEC is a public institution and it should be open, because if you do something and people are not satisfied, then you should be able to open up yourself, he said. INEC has conducted an election and announced the winner, but I am only asking that I have access to the materials that were used to arrive at the results. I am not asking you to change what you said. I am not challenging their declaration, or rather I am not challenging who they declared. I am not challenging whatever the outcome is. I am challenging the process by which they arrive at their declaration. And unless we do that, we are not going to stop the rascality we witnessed in that election. The process through which people come into the office is far more fundamental than what they do thereafter. There is a process of doing things, of arriving at every destination. A process is important, Mr. Obi stated. By challenging the presidential election in court, Mr. Obi, like Atiku, seek to achieve what no other losing presidential candidate has achieved. Yes, so, and that is why they are fidgeting, because you know that this man, go grill. He will do everything thoroughly. Everything must be accounted for. All those one where I need they do it now, play that they play. Now play that they play. Even after some people have accused them of the reconfiguration and manipulation and all of that, they are still afraid of bringing it out to show the man. Irrespective of whatever they must have done, bring the election results out, let us see. That is just the only thing he's asking for. And the INEC is there doing them. That is why they are sending people to go and convince OB to stop this court case. Let them continue. History will repeat itself. So guys, let's hear your opinion and have your take on this.